Fans always have opinions on who the best players out there are, and you know what? My favorite thing to talk about is player rankings, player profiles, scouting players. That's because I am Coach Ryan D, and I'm a high-performance hockey coach with Hockey Canada who's been on YouTube for quite some time, bringing you the best in hockey content. Today, we're going to find out if fan voting and fan opinion matches Coach Ryan D's opinion from Trained Eye, his ability to use advanced analytics, which you can use as well too, but are very important in today's game. And I'm going to go ahead and compare your rankings against mine, and I'm going to give you the top 30 defensemen in the NHL after the 2021-2022 season, heading into 2022 and 2023. Are you excited? Are you excited to get ready and chirpy down below in the comments? Are you excited to tell me where I got it wrong? And most importantly, are you excited to have some fun and talk hockey? Because that's why you're here. And that's why we love this game. So let's get a little crazy. Now, there are so many things that can go into a player. I use two key websites. I use the Athletics Dom Lucian, who goes ahead and uses a stat called GSVA. He ranks your offensive 5-on-5, defensive 5-on-5, overall game score value average or game score value add, and he goes ahead and puts it into one single number. I also go ahead and evaluate their point contributions, their power play, and their penalty kill contributions. And I also know a little thing or two about excellent skating, excellent puck moving, in-room attitude, which does matter, and you do have to take age into account somewhat. So we're going to put it all into a blender to give you my rankings. I want you to head over to your Instagram account and add a guy called Real Puck Zone. It's up here right now. He actually went and aggregated the top 100 defensemen as per your voting, and he's got a lot of followers. So go ahead, give him a follow, and you can see where I got the fan ranked list. Don't work harder. Work smarter. Just borrow if you can. So thank you to Real Puck Zone. Let's get them some ads. And finally, I don't just like to rank by numbers. I like to rank by tiers. So we're going to do both. Fans, coaches, and then I'm going to tier them for you. Now let's go ahead without further ado and start that list with number 30. Number 30 is Shea Theodore of the Las Vegas Golden Knights. The fans had him ranked at number 22, but Coach Ryan D has him ranked in at number 30. He didn't have the best season last year. It's not that he's not going to be able to bounce back for the next year, and I think fans, when they're coming into this one, are looking more at the name, the point production, because he put up 52 points, than they are his overall contribution to his team that year. He's got a GSVA of 1.8, which is all right. It's still a very good defenseman. Remember, if you're on the top 30, you are elite. There are no bad defensemen on this list. So fans have him at 22. I have him at 30. He is ranked number 79 by Evolving Hockey. Look, it's Shea Theodore. He would have made Team Canada. He is elite as elite can get. I think we can go ahead and agree. 8 points in a ranking system, not that big a deal. I have him ranked in tier 5. Number 29 is a young gun. He's only 22 years old. It's Noah Dobson of the New York Islanders. If you're an Islanders fan, you know all about this guy. He had an absolute breakout year this year at 51 points. He is one of the best up-and-coming young defensemen in the NHL right now. And we're not just adjusting for age here. He had a GSVA of 2.2. His point totals and his assist totals were one of the best in the league for defensemen. He still needs a lot of work on his 5-on-5 offense, though, and his 5-on-5 defense, according to both The Athletic and Evolving Hockey. And I fully agree. That's because young defensemen take some time to develop. The nuances of the game take time. So yes, he put up 51 points, but at the end of the day, we can't just look at points. We have to look at their contribution to their team using those advanced analytics. And why do you guys say? I know a lot of people don't love them, and I know a lot of people love them because it takes our bias out of this one. And when we're looking at a player like Noah Dobson, who's so young, and we want to put a lot of those big names ahead of him, you know what? Sometimes we got to check our bias at the door by looking at multiple sources to see, hey, did we get it right? The best teams in the NHL do that, the best coaches, the best GMs, and now I'm going to help you do that as well too. He comes in at number 29. The fans ranked him at 43, so he didn't go quite under the radar. It's not a huge reach, but we do have him in our top 30. Islander fans are going to love this guy. At number 28, it's New Jersey Devils' Dougie Hamilton. Look, Dougie Hamilton's ranked number 15 by fans. We got him at 28. We slid him down because his defense this year wasn't great. Yes, I get it. He didn't play all games. He only comes in with 30 points, but that's because Dougie Hamilton played 62 games this year. He had a GSVA of 1.3. He's one of the lower guys on this list, but I couldn't not include him. He's a right shot defenseman. He got the bag in terms of the pay, the $9 million. He eats up a ton of minutes for the New Jersey Devils, and he'll have a much stronger defensive year next year. What am I talking about? I bring up these cards here from The Athletic because a picture's worth 1,000 words. It's got the key categories that a defenseman is measured on, and just take a look at his overall defense. He was expected to be a negative 4.8. Basically, they're saying he's not that great 5-on-5 defensively for his team. So Devils fans, comment down below. Let me know if you agree with that. Well, he came in at a putrid negative 22.4 this year. So woof, wasn't the best year for Dougie Hamilton, but everything else, including his offensive contribution, is one of the best in the NHL. So the only thing holding him back is that defense, and sometimes your team needs to help you out with that. Number 27 is St. Louis Blues defenseman Justin Faulk. Justin Faulk is ranked 52 by the fans, so this is our first big reach right there, pulling him on up. I think it's something to do with his age, the fact that he's been around the league for what feels like forever. Plus, he's on a team that is just littered with amazing defensemen, including Tory Krug and Colton Parayko, but I do think he is worthy of being in the top 30 here right now. He's got a GSVA of 2.4, one of the best in the league. He's good for 47 points. 5-on-5, he's an offensive dynamo. His goal contribution was one of the best in the league for defensemen in terms of his expected role and contribution to the team overall. So he comes in at 2.4 GSVA. I love this guy. I want him on my team. I've got Justin Faulk in the top 30. Number 26, Erik Karlsson. Feels like he's been in the league forever. Fans give him a 33. I give him a 26. Again, I think this is just being tired of hearing the name and tired of the injuries, and he was injured last year. But when he was on the ice, he was awesome at 2.6 GSVA. Was he $11.8 million awesome? Absolutely not, but we're not talking about that when we go ahead and rank our defensemen. We're not ranking the contracts, we're ranking the defensemen. So even though he's got that albatross of a deal, Erik Karlsson is still a top-end defender in the NHL. The smooth skating 31 turning 32-year-old feels like he's older. If he can stay on the ice and healthy, he will move up this list still. Number 25 is Quinn Hughes. This is going to be the first big red bell alarm for a lot of Orca fans. Look, at the end of the day, Quinn Hughes is amazing offensively, 68 points, but he's got a GSVA of 2. Why? Because his contribution to team defense 5-on-5 still isn't there yet. You've heard me say it a million times on this channel. If you're new, welcome. Defensemen take time to learn the game defensively as they get older. It can take till they're 25 to 27 to really get into the nuances of the NHL. I think that's no different with Quinn Hughes. He is one of the best, if not the best, skating defenseman in the NHL, which you have also heard me say is the most important skill out there. Develop that brain a little bit more, kid, and you're going to skyrocket up these standings. Number 25 for me is Quinn Hughes. Number 10 for fans. I think they love the points. I think they love the youth. I think they love the name and the excitement that he brings, but pump the brakes just a bit yet. I don't think he's cracked the top 10. Number 24 is John Carlson of the Washington Capitals. Feels like he's been on this list forever. He's only 32 years old. He's got a lot of time left. Carlson got the bag in terms of money. Him and Ovechkin are going to be pushing in Washington for a repeat Stanley Cup, and they are going to be a dark horse to do damage in the playoffs like they are every year. Fans have him at 19. I have him at 24. I don't think 5 positions at this is much to sneer at anyway, but he's good for 71 points. That's a 2.8 GSVA. Why does he end up falling down my list slightly? Once again, the 5-on-5 offense and defense. There are just other defensemen out there that are beating him at this point in time. But remember, top 30 list doesn't mean he's not super elite, and that 71 points cannot be ignored. I think controversy time is coming here at number 23. It's a St. Louis Blues defenseman named Tory Krug. How is this not Colton Parayko? This is a bit of a reach for me, fans are going to say. They have him at 37. I have him at 23. GSVA of 1.6, one of the lower ones on this list, but why is he so high there, Coach Ryan D? If you go ahead and look at advanced stats, like I said, Blender, that's not all we look at. It's just a piece. Good for 43 points. This is one of the most talented 5-on-5 offensive contributing defensemen in the NHL. He's actually ranked number 3, if you can believe it. His defensive prowess 5-on-5 leaves a little bit to be desired because when you're pushing for offense, sometimes it does negatively impact you on the defensive side. I think Tory Krug is the best defenseman on the St. Louis Blues. I would love to have Krug on my team. Colton Parayko, unfortunately, did not make this list, Blues fans. We'll talk about why. Stick around to the end. But Justin Faulk and Tory Krug are on there. One of the most talented defensive teams in the league. Number 23 for me. Number 22 is old man Brent Burns, Mr. Figure Skating himself. This guy is loved in the locker room. He's a unit of a man at 6'5". He's gone over to the Carolina Hurricanes, going to help them push for a cup this year. I have him ranked at 22, Canes fans. The bunch of jerks should be pumped about getting this guy into their locker room. You need guys like this to push you over the hump. The fans rank him at 35. Again, I think it's because of the age. It's because we've seen the name. But at the end of the day, this guy contributes massively, and he has a massive contract that may feel a little disappointing, but will not bug Carolina fans because he's only there for 1 year, and he may be able to push them over the finish line. A GSVA of 1.5, points of 55, but when you're bringing in locker room presence like this guy and size like this guy, you've got to adjust for things like that, and he skates like he's 5'10" and 180 pounds. He comes in at number 22. Number 21 is a 21-year-old Mortz Seider. He is one of the most popular defensemen in the NHL. I had him ranked on this list last year, so he ends up getting back this year. Fantastic Calder Trophy winner, unit of a man, loves laying body, physical game changer. How can you not blame Stevie Y for picking one of the best in the draft? It felt like a reach at the time, but it never is when it is Stevie Y. I have him ranked at number 21, and he is our last player in tier 5, but the fans have him ranked at number 9. Again, fans love the youth. They love the excitement. So when I look at guys like Quinn Hughes and Mortz Seider, who are in the top 30 for me, but not in the top 10, it's because they have time to develop their brain. They need to develop their decision making, and that will improve their offensive and defensive back end numbers, even though they are putting up legendary point totals. The game of defense is all about subtle nuances. These aren't wingers, folks. They're not up the wing, down the wing, change, score a goal. This is the hardest position to play in hockey that isn't goaltender. It is likely the most important position in hockey. These are two of the bets. Seider is the best young gun out there right now, but I can't bump him up past 21 or into tier 4 and above just yet. But the young man will definitely be rivaling guys like Cale, Makar, and Charlie McAvoy, in my opinion, in the near future. The guy is a future stud, if he isn't already, because he's on this list. There you go. Quick recap of tier 5. I've got Seider, I've got Krug, Burns, Carlson, Hughes, Karlsson again, Faulk, Hamilton, Dobson, and Theodore, all in tier 5, rank 30 to 21. Let's head to tier 4. But before we head to tier 4, can you go down below, smash subscribe, smash like? If you've been here this long, you're probably really enjoying the content. If you're not already subscribed and like, join it. And if you want to talk to me about my list, join the Discord. Go ahead, talk to us all in the groups. We got fantastic people and moderators in there. I'm in there. You can go ahead and let me know what you think of the list by joining our Discord link below. And a big shout out to all of our executive and lower bowl members on the coaches staff. You guys are some of the best, biggest fans I have on this channel. I love the subscribers. I love the guys that comment, but you are the true diehard fans. So thank you for being here. Comment down below, join the Discord, big thumbs up. Now let's get to tier 4, shall we? Tier 4 starts off with a bang, and it's Thomas Chabot. We had him on this list at this spot last year. He's here this year. Fans have him at 12. I have him at 20. I don't think he's quite hit that piece yet. He only played 59 games last year. In those 59 games, he got 38 points, a GSVA of 2.8. That is excellent. One of the best GSVAs for defensemen out there right now. But you're going to see as we go up this list, there's a few guys that blow him out of the water. Thomas Chabot, he plays for an NHL team. He's ranked number 20. Number 19 is controversy pick number 1, Tony Deangelo. Locker room presence matters. And this guy's been in 2 locker rooms, and there have been reports out of both locker rooms that he's a jerk. No matter what you want to believe, it is irrelevant because 2 teams have moved him, and you don't move young elite defensemen unless there are problems. But the Philadelphia Flyers think they've got a player in Deangelo, and I agree. From a hockey standpoint, they have a player. Fans don't like this guy either. He's ranked at 64, and fans, I don't blame you. I always struggle putting guys like this on lists, but at the end of the day, his play on ice does have to count for something, and I have him ranked at number 19, a GSV of 3.8. He should have been way up in this list with his contribution to the Carolina Hurricanes, 51 points. This is actually one of the best defensemen in the NHL. I know you don't want to hear it, and if you want to see what I'm talking about, let's take a look. We pull up his players card from The Athletic, and we can see he is gold everywhere. Gold means you are in the top 10% of your position, and he's in the top 10% of his position everywhere except defense. In that case, he's in the top 50 to 70%. That's still not too bad considering very few players are going to gold out everywhere. So this guy's a baller. This guy's a player. He's just a bit of a locker room pill. Number 18, the Calgary Flames' new toy shows up. MacKenzie Weegar, coming from the Florida Panthers. He's ranked number 20 with the fans. He's ranked number 18 with Coach Ryan D. So we agree we're really close. GSVA of 3.7, points at 44, right shot defenseman, one of the best shots in the NHL. He was slow burning. He took a while to get into the league. Once he got into the league, it took him 3 or 4 years to develop. The last 3 years of Weegar's career have been excellent. Last year's was one of his best. He goes ahead and joins the best defensive core in the NHL in the Calgary Flames. And I'm not a Flames fan or a Flames homer. Take a look at the Jets jerseys behind me if you're wondering. And did a Jets player make the list? Stay tuned to find out. But Weegar comes in at 18 for me. You're going to love him in Calgary, at least for this year. Number 17 is an oldie but a goodie. Again, feels like he's been in the league forever, but he's only 32 years old. It's Drew Doughty. You had him at 24. We have him at 17. He's got a GSVA of 3.2, points of 31. He didn't play the whole year. He got injured, but when he ends up coming back, he's going to be just as good as before. This is one of the best defensemen in the NHL, has been since he's entered the league, been a staple on Team Canada, and I truly believe if Drew Doughty was playing in that playoff series along with healthy Mikey Anderson, I think the LA Kings would have taken the Edmonton Oilers in round 1. But the playoffs is a battle of attrition, and unfortunately, Doughty didn't make it there. He's a key cog for a team that I think is going to make a big jump next year in the LA Kings. Number 16, we're going back to the island with Adam Pelech, one of the best shutdown defensemen in the NHL. You had him at 23, we had him at 16. This guy used to be underappreciated. No more. GSVA of 2.3, one of the lowest GSVAs in this tier, points of 28. But I don't care how low his GSVA is. It's because his defensive prowess and ability to shut down the best players in the world, like Alexander Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby, that gets him a place on this list. I think he would have made Team Canada if there was an Olympic trials that were going, because you just don't find guys like this. He's one of the best in the league. Adam Pelech comes in at 16. Number 15 is going to blow your mind because it's Matt Grzelcyk. It's not Hampus Lindholm. It's not a billion other names out there. It's little Matty Grzelcyk. The tiny man on defense is one of the best defensive defensemen in the NHL. He only has 24 points. We just talked about a defensive defenseman in Pelech. Well, Grzelcyk is right there. It is so plain as day when you see it. It's so plain as day when you look at the stats. A GSVA of 3.1. This guy is elite all day, every day. If he was a couple inches taller, he might even be in the top 3 or the top 4. But hey, he's playing the hand he's dealt, and he's playing a really good hand. And you know what? He's no slouch on offense either. He actually ranks number 38 for defensemen in the NHL in offensive 5-on-5 numbers, and he ranks number 13 in the NHL, above Adam Pelech at number 17 in pure 5-on-5 defense. Matt Grzelcyk is on this list. Fans have him at 69. 69, just like our buddy Shorzy.
Hey, who wants to hurt their team more, boys? Keep it up and find out. I'm only taking one of you.
Go check out that TV show on Hulu or Crave TV if you're in Canada. Fantastic. Best hockey TV show going. Matt Grzelcyk is 15. I think the fans slept on this guy. Number 14, we agree on. Number 16 for the fans. Number 14 for me. It's Kris Letang. Tanger is one of the best defensemen the NHL has been for a long time. He has 3 Stanley Cups. We don't have to tell the story of Kris Letang. He's got a new contract there in Pittsburgh, even though he's 35 years old, 68 points, GSV of 3.1. The smooth skating man from Quebec, Canada is an absolute French kiss of a defenseman. I would love to have this guy on my team at any age. Kris Letang comes in at 14. Final player in tier 4 is Morgan Rielly, number 13. You have him at 18. We're pretty close. And why is he not higher? Well, he's the number 1 offensive defenseman in the NHL. Yep, I said it. He is. He doesn't have the most amount of points, but 5-on-5, statistically, this guy grades out as number 1. Defensively, don't worry about it. It's only in the 300s. Leafs fans know that. If you ever had that gut feeling as a Leafs fan or watching a Leafs game that, oh my God, here comes another Morgan Rielly turnover, well, you know what? You're not wrong, because that's what the advanced analytics say. But how do you hold back the number one offensive guy and keep him off this list? He can't. He needs to be able to go up. His team's got to help him out a little bit too. It's not that he isn't super elite. He comes in at number 13 for me. I love Morgan Rielly. Look, it is what it is. You got to get him on there. I think he would have made Team Canada. Taking a look at recapping Tier 4, you've got Rielly, Letang, Grzelcyk, Pelech, Doughty, Weegar, Deangelo, and Chabot. Moving into Tier 3 now, we have Andersson, Rasmus Andersson of the Calgary Flames. You have him ranked at 39. I have him ranked at 12. I think this is because there are so many good defensemen in Calgary. They're all just log jammed up for fans. They're going, look, they don't have anyone super elite, but they're all good. I disagree. I actually think they have 3 very elite defensemen, and Rasmus Andersson is one of them. He comes in at 12. He is a GSV of 3.5. This is one of the highest in the NHL. These things don't happen by accident. They're not made up. He's got 50 points. He contributes all over the ice. He's an offensive dynamo 5-on-5. He's not bad defensively, but he's not as strong as his partner that's also on this list right now. He gets an A grade for me. He gets a Tier 3 grade for us here. This is one of the better defensemen in the NHL at number 12, Rasmus Andersson. Flames fans, look, it's been a tough offseason, but it's going to be all right. Number 11 is probably one of my favorite defensemen in the NHL in Spurgeon. Why? Because no one ever really talked about him until the last couple years. Then all of a sudden, now everybody wants to be on the Spurgeon bandwagon. I've liked this guy since he played for Team Canada in the World Juniors. He comes in at number 11. You got him ranked at 25. I don't think he's underappreciated, overappreciated. I think he's ranked just right at both sides. There's a lot of different ways you can go with this guy. He's not the biggest guy in the league, but he's the captain of one of the better teams in the league. GSVA of 3.7 is one of the highest in the NHL, 41 points. This guy is just a dynamo. Spurgeon comes in at 11. Top 10 time, and we're going to start it with Miro Heiskanen. Miro Heiskanen is one of my favorite young defensemen. I've had him on this list for 2 years now. Heiskanen is ranked number 10. You got him ranked at 6. Look, they're both in the top 10. We're splitting hairs at this point in time. He's got a GSVA of 3.8, points of 36, and fans love Heiskanen. But you know what? When we were talking about guys like Spurgeon, and especially Rasmus Andersson before, they are almost identical when it comes down to pure statistics. I think Heiskanen is the most talented out of all 3 of them, especially in the area of skating or puck moving, but all 3 of those guys grade out almost identically. So if you love Heiskanen, but you're wondering why those other guys were there, well, actually, they're very close, and I would take any of them on my team. That's why they're all in the same tier with Tier 3. Now let's move on to number 9. Noah Hanifin, our last and final Calgary Flame on this list. You lose Gaudreau, you lose Tkachuk. That sucks, but you got to build from the net out. If Markstrom can learn how to stop a puck against a team with a big oil logo on them, you're going to be in a good spot because he does great against everybody else. With that defensive core, though, you've got to find a way to counteract the high-scoring offense of the Edmonton Oilers in the Battle of Alberta, and you're on your way to doing it with Hanifin, Andersson, and Weegar. You even have a guy named Killington back there. This is a pretty good team defensively. I'm telling you, don't sleep on him. Hanifin's in the top 10. I would love to have this guy on my team. You can build a team around him. The fans have him at number 40. I think y'all are sleeping on him. I respect the fans all day, every day, in every organization. But you know what? I just think you guys got him log jammed with a bunch of other guys, and maybe it's some of the Calgary haha going around, but this guy is really that good. A GSV of 3.4. What I love about him is he is ranked number 30 on offense. He's ranked number 30 on defense. That doesn't sound too elite, but remember, there are players in the top 10 that have a ranking in the 200s for either offense or defense. It's very tough to find the traditional two-way defender, and that is what Noah Hanifin is, a traditional two-way defender. Number 8's going to be controversy time for sure. New York Ranger fans think I'm snubbing them with Adam Fox coming in at number 8. Fox is the best offensive defenseman on this list. There, I said it. But Fox has some brain farts. He needs to work on his defensive side of the game. He plays as a forward almost as much as he plays as a defense when I see him jumping in there. He behaves like a fourth forward, and sometimes it can cost the Rangers, but he's partnered with the right guy in Ryan Lindgren that can go ahead, play that steady Eddie, stay-at-home defensive style to back this guy up. And sometimes they don't ask you how, they just ask you how many. And when you're putting up 74 points, you know what? You can make a couple decisions like that. Anybody who's in the top 10 is going to be elite. You guys all have him at 4. I don't blame you. He's one of the most exciting defensemen to watch, but I do not think he is near the talent level of our top 2 players on this list yet, because you need to be a complete defenseman to be in that super tier category of tier 1 for Coach Ryan D. But I'd love to have him on my team, GSVA of 3. Number 7, and the final player in tier 3 is Jaccob Slavin. Jaccob Slavin comes in. We're equal. 7, 8. It's all the same number. I mean, you might wonder why 6 is afraid of 7, because 7, 8, 9. You're welcome. I know you've heard that a million times. GSVA of 3.8, though. You don't see that a million times. He's got 42 points. The octopus in Jaccob Slavin had one of the best playoff runs out there. He's no longer a secret. Carolina fans thought they had a hidden gem that nobody knew about. They kind of complained a little bit, which is odd for the bunch of jerks. They're usually a very cheerful group of people. And I really mean that. One of the most positive hockey groups out there when it comes to comment sections, and love the game. So thank you, Canes fans. But you know what? They thought they had a sleeper. He ain't a sleeper anymore. The league knows all about Jaccob Slavin, one of the best defensemen in the NHL. All right, so let's recap tier 3. We have Slavin, Fox, Hanifin, Heiskanen, Spurgeon, and Andersson. Number 6 is Devon Toews, the partner to Cale Makar. Number 6 on my list. Number 11 for you guys, a 4.8 GSVA. Wow, we have entered the super elite territory here, 57 points. You may be thinking it's because he's partnered with Cale Makar. Disagree fully. This guy is his own man. He may play with one of the best in the league, but he could carry any other team up front as well. Devon Toews is one of the best defensemen in the NHL today. Just pull up his player card here from The Athletic. It's gold all over. I told you, it's very hard to get gold everywhere. He's great on defense. He's great on offense. He's great on getting points. This guy is one of the best defensemen in the NHL. He could be all time. He isn't as good as his partner, but he is definitely darn good. And look at the gap between Jaccob Slavin and Devon Toews. Number 5 on my list is Aaron Ekblad of the Florida Panthers. The former 101 has grown all up, hasn't he? 4.8 GSVA. He's a monster. He is a big man. However, he still did get rocked by Ovi there in the playoffs. He got up, though. Ovi's a big man as well. He comes in with 57 points. If he can stay healthy and play a full season in points, he would be scary. He only played 61 games this year. He was almost a point per game pace. This guy is one of the best in the NHL. There's not much more to say. We've entered the top 5. Number 4 is Victor Hedman. Fans have him ranked at number 2. Again, we're splitting hairs when we get into the top 4. 85 points, a GSVA of 4.4, which is ironically lower than both Toews and Ekblad, I'd like to note. But again, we can't really move Hedman down. He ends up going to his 3rd Stanley Cup final in a row. This guy is truly elite. Number 3 was the point leader for defensemen with a GSVA of 4.2 and 96 points. Oh, I really wanted one of them to get over 100. It's been a while since we've seen that. The fans rank him at 3. I rank him at 3. Roman Josi of the Nashville Predators is still an absolute top tier, top choice defenseman. Our tier 2 list is short. It gets shorter the higher you go up the mountain. We got Josi, Hedman, Ekblad, and Toews. That means there's only 2 players left in order to count to 30. We all know who number 1's going to be, but number 2, you might be going, really, Coach Ryan D? You're going to put him in the same category? Yes. Yes, 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 all day. Yes. Charlie McAvoy is the 2nd best defenseman in the NHL. Last year I had him ranked as 1, and I had Makar ranked as 2. Well, I got the top 2 right, just a little bit of a different order. Charlie McAvoy, people sleep on. I can't believe I'm saying that. You got him ranked at 5. He has a GSVA of a straight .5. This guy is one of the best contributors in the NHL. The babyface assassin is amazing. 56 points. He has absolutely no holes in his game. We bring up his player card. Okay, could he have scored a little bit more? Sure, in terms of goals, but in terms of offense and defense, he had a 21.5 ranking on offense, and he had a 35.1 ranking on defense. Unbelievable. 5-on-5 offensively, 5-on-5 defensively. Guy's an absolute gem. He's a stud. He's a star. He deserves to be in the same conversation, in the same breath, along with number 1, Cale Makar. Now, Makar will eventually run away from McAvoy, in my opinion. Makar is 1. We all agree on it. This guy is playing against Makar. He is playing to be the best player in the NHL, and he is playing to catch guys like Paul Coffey and Bobby Orr. But before you ever talk about Bobby Orr and Paul Coffey, why don't we get a little bit of Nick Lidstrom love in there? He's got a lot of amazing defensemen out there to compare himself to, but Makar is just going to play against Cale. Cale is against Cale. I think the sky is the absolute limit for this guy. We have not seen his best even yet. I think he eclipses 100 points as the first defenseman to do it in quite some time, like a billion years. A 5.9 GSVA. McAvoy is a 5. He is a 5.9. Everybody else is in the 4s or lower. I did have to put them together. I could make 6 tiers if you really wanted to and put Makar in a Makar tier. You do you, but I think we can go ahead and agree that this guy is the 101 for everybody. So there you have it. There is my final list. Makar and McAvoy reign supreme on top, but it is Makar all alone. Then you have Yossi, Hedman, Ekblad, and Taves, and the list of amazing defensemen below that. Now we've got to talk about the snubs, and we've got to talk about all the names that people want to throw in the comments and go, I know a name, I know a defenseman. Well, let's go ahead and pull up the snubbed list. When we take a look here, Zach Werenski, where was he, Ryan? The fans had him ranked way higher than you did. They actually have him ranked at number 13. Alex Pietrangelo, you have ranked at 14. Rasmus Dahlin at 17. Chychrun at 21. Nurse at 26. Mikhail Sergachev, 27. Doesn't deserve it. Don't watch the contract. He's not there yet. Maybe one day. Ryan Pollock, Seth Jones, Colton Parayko, and people love John Klingberg were all missed on my list. And why? You know what? Whether it was their underlying advanced analytics, whether it's my own opinion of how they've played on their team, I just think the other 30 guys impressed me more last year, and I'm more excited to talk about them next year. Every single player you see in front of you right now on the snub list can absolutely take a spot on this list. Defensemen are very fluid, and top defensemen will always be an opinionated choice. I'm just giving you the coach's perspective against the fan perspective. Nobody is more right than each other. Nobody is more wrong than each other. So that's my list. These are the snubs off your list. We also talked about Noah Dobson, and people are probably screaming some of their favorite young gun names here at the computer. Look, they haven't made the list yet, in my opinion, but they're all very good players. I'll make a video later on in the future, which is why you want to subscribe, ranking and talking about the best young guns in the NHL. But here are some of them. I just want to let you know, I didn't forget about these guys. We evaluated the top 80 defensemen in the NHL, and this is the top 30 I came up with. I am super excited to see guys like Drysdale, Bouchard, and Byram. You can't sleep on Sean Jersey, Mikey Anderson, but guess who actually grades out as the best defenseman on this list right now? It's Tim Liljegren. The Toronto Maple Leafs may have an absolute gem in this guy. He grades out the highest out of anybody on this list. Personally, I like Bouchard and Byram, but I think a lot of people do, and I think there's a lot of playoff bias to that. They had great playoff runs. Do great things in the playoffs, people remember your name. They remember wins, and they remember deep runs. But you know what? Sometimes you're just on a bad team, so you got to give everybody their just desserts. All right, that is everything we have today. I want to see all the comments down below. I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you watching this video. And why not go ahead and check out some of our draft grades as well as some of our free agent day one grades right here, right now.